Hello guys, it's Thomas, and today I have another episode of Remote Tech. Now here you see me launching a thing. This is the one major launch I'm doing in this episode. Other stuff is just showing you my testing, which I haven't done before. So this is a different type of launch. I'm trying to go lower, quicker. Normally I'm still pointed straight up at this point. And it's more efficient than I was last time, because I come up with pretty much a full fuel tank. But here you see me going into low orbit, and I'm going to revenue with the space station, which now is causing me only a few frames per second. Not a few frames per second less, but a few frames altogether. But since this is sped up 8 times, you're only going to see like 20 FPS. So now I'm doing one of my injection burns so I don't fall back into the atmosphere. See me measuring it all up, trying to get as close as possible. And then I screw that up anyway later, but you know what? I have enough fuel by a lot. So now I'm doing my little burn. You can see how slow this thing turns, because this is still at 18. Wait, no, not 18. 8 times faster than regular. So it's a pain, because I didn't put any reaction control wheels. I just put that one probe body, and that's all that's turning it. So I tend to turn on the engine just to turn it, because if I don't, then it's a pain. So now you can see me doing the second correction maneuver, which this is the one I kind of mess up. But I don't really care. Truly, you can get a revenue from about anywhere, from burning as fast as you can straight towards it, but it helps if you already have a close encounter. So now I'm getting closer to it, and my previous versions of this did have problems along the lines of electric charge running out, which almost just happened, and running out of monopropellant. So this was many failed times. But you can see right here that I'm getting closer and closer, thrusting to do it. And this craft doesn't have a really high thrust to weight ratio. It only has like 4 of those side Rockomax engines. I know it's not those Ant ones, which are a lot worse, but I wanted not much thrust, so I couldn't screw it up if my keys got stuck, because my keys did tend to get stuck during this episode. Like, that wasn't really an example layer, but it kind of stuck for just a second, which kind of threw me off. So now I'm burning again, just getting close to dock, and then I lost some footage, but here I am, pretty close to it. You have to forgive me using ASS, because this thing, without using RCS, it takes forever. Like, I don't even know if it could turn around. With using RCS, it burns a lot of it, and I still, have to wait like 4 minutes for it to stop wobbling. And now I start to get close. Now, I don't know what the problem is, but I was pushing into the docking port for a very long time, and it wouldn't dock. Now, I do dock, then undock later, because I have to realign it so it's all lined up, all perfect and stuff. But you see me, I'm pushing under, I'm like, just let me dock. And this goes on for a little while. So I'm just trying, and there I finally get it, and then I realize, that's not lined up. So I turned that whole thing so it's lined up perfectly. Try to fix my stuff, and I'm like, just let me back on. Let me back on, I want to dock. And I realize I'm kind of off, but still it should have been letting me on. And now you see my testing. Since it's getting close to halfway through about, this is a test. I modded this myself as an air-breathing engine. It gives me about 15 kilonewtons of thrust at the maximum. And I barely can lift off this plane with it. You'll see how weak it is. But I'm hoping you guys will accept it, because this thing it's 30 times more powerful than an ion engine, and it takes only slightly more than an ion engine to run, at least electricity. But you need air intakes, which is something else I actually modded. I modded them to work on any planet with a certain type of them, so I will remember not to use those if I am doing anything else. So here you see me here, I'm admitting I used Hyper Edit, but this is a different save, so it doesn't really matter. But just to test it out, I'm doing a... As you see, it's not the easiest thing to take off, but I'm pretty amazed with how low thrust, because it can fly off of about 5 to 6 kilonewtons of thrust. Now, if I wasn't able to do that, I won't be able to do any of the stuff I'm doing later. So now you just see me, I'm just flying all around. I'm like, yay, I finally made something that flies on Duna. Because I'm not using a ton of ion engines, because that's crazy. Now the other thing is, I actually balanced them, I think I balanced them fairly. At least, because on, like, for instance, planets like, what's the Mercury analog, I don't remember it, Moho. That doesn't work at all, because either the way the atmosphere is too thin for the intakes to work, let alone the air-breathing engines. So, I'm barely having enough air so it doesn't stall out. I'm doing it. So, I think that's pretty, legit, because it's also using a lot of electricity, even though you don't see that, because, I am doing a reasonably good job at flying it, and keeping the solar panels aligned. So you see me now, I cut almost all of my thrust. I'm down to about 5 kilonewtons, coming in for slow landing. Then I realized, oh wait, I'm not as high up as I thought I was, because you can see my shadow. And now, anytime now I come into land, maybe, okay, I thrust down and I put down my land gear, and put it all down. Like, those parachutes are actually only backup measure if I can't land it without the wheels. And so I'm just going to try to sum up quickly because this episode ends pretty soon. What I do. You clearly can see that I did not repack any of the parachutes on the left hand side since they're all red. But I'm about to do something with... Is that Jeb? I don't know who that is. I'm watching this on a low resolution right now. Let's see where it is. Malsil Kerman, I think that's how you pronounce it. I really have no clue. But I'm about to do something daring with him. Now this just shows you how slow this thing accelerates. If you remember this, you're watching this 4 times faster than normal. So I thrust down a little bit, about 6 kilonewtons. Yeah, somewhere around here. Okay, 7. And then I EVA him just to repack all the parachutes. And this shows you that this thing has less acceleration than a Kerbal does on EVA. By a lot, because I accidentally go in front of it too much. Just thrust up. And look, I'm barely thrusting to the right at all. Yeah. Barely at all. And so now I'm just gonna say this right now. Thank you for watching. Leave a like for a favorite. If you enjoyed this episode, you can watch me almost fail at deploying all the parachutes since I didn't apply them to an action group. And adios.